Hey, what's up, you amazing hackers? Hope you're all doing well today. I got this question from a fan of mine. I'm going to call him VV, and it's a great question. So he says, I'm one of your students, sir. How are all of you guys getting bounties and private programs in HackerOne, Backrot, and Integrity? When I'll try and I'll only get public programs and all vulnerabilities are out of scope. I'm currently losing my confidence, sir. What's the best way to get into private programs? Thanks in advance. So that's a really good question. You've touched on a few sensitive topics here. First of all, I'm going to tell you that you need to stop looking at bug bounties as a way to get fame, to get money, to get whatever you want. And I need you to look at bug bounties as a way to get knowledge, to get learning, to get research done, to get topics that are actually applicable in a real world scenario and to look up information about it. So let's say you encounter a GraphQL endpoint, you're going to Google how to hack a GraphQL and you're going to learn a lot about GraphQL. Because one thing you need to know about bug bounties is that we guys are last in line. There are already pen testers before us. There are probably a lot of bug bounty hunters before us already. So what you need to do, what you need to know very carefully is that the bugs you're going to find, you're going to have to look for the bugs that are a little bit more common to find, but are just an entry level because bug bounties is different from regular hacking. You need to get your foot into the door in bug bounties and you need to experience it. That's why it's important to look for low-level vulnerabilities. Thanks to Insider PhD, we know some that are very reported very often. So some of these are, for example, password reset tokens being sent over plain text, rate limiting functions missing if that is in scope, of course. So there are a lot of things like application level denial of service, but you have to confirm that it's actually application level denial of service, meaning that you have to confirm on a different browser, preferably even on a different IP address, that the application is actually out of use. Of course, don't bring any production environments out of use, guys. Very important. Don't bring any production environments out of use. Think twice before you do anything. You're actually hacking a production environment sometimes, so think very carefully about that. Now, you're also asking me about the private programs. That's also a very good question. But don't stare yourself blind on private programs, because let me tell you a secret, amazing hacker. Most of my money is made from public programs that have been out for a while. And I do this by finding vulnerability types that I shine in. I am very good at logic skills. I'm light on the autism scale, so I am pretty good with these types of details, these things that people miss in the logic of and in the flows of applications. Now, what I need you to do is look inside yourself and find that thing that you're really passionate for, that you're really good at. And that's what you're going to need to leverage to find what you need. Now, a lot of motivation, I'm not gonna lie, in bug bounties lies in money. For me as well, I did a lot of bug bounties for money. I changed my mind around this. It's very important that you change your mind around this. But when you do get private invites, it's not gonna be usually from the public programs that pay a whole lot of money. Like let's say you have a public program like a bank that pays 10,000 euros for a critical. Well, of course there are going to be a ton of hackers on that program, and you can be sure that that program is going to be secure because I'm not going to give away $10,000. No, it's not going to be 100% secure. It's going to be 95% secure, 98% secure, somewhere in that range. But I'm not going to give away $10,000 without a fight. So for getting invites, try to stick to programs that have vulnerability disclosure and not just paid programs. Pick your target extremely carefully, and this is very important because you need to pick a target that fits your style of testing. Like I said, I am a very logical person. I like all of that logic stuff. So what am I going to look for? Business to business applications. Those usually contain a lot more logic. And then I can also include some user testing, like broken access control, IDOR testing, all of that stuff. So Pick your programs extremely well. Pick a vulnerability disclosure program so you have a maximized chance of getting something. Those things usually have a much bigger scope and they're a lot less secure. Not always, usually. That's very important to know. And pick something that you're very good at. Grab a skill that you know that you're very good at, dive deep into that skill, and get an expert certificate into it. Not really, of course, get very well acquainted with that vulnerability type, and make sure that you don't overburden yourself. This stuff is hard. In the beginning, I used to hunt for 8 hours every single day. That's how I got my vulnerability types. I hunted quite a lot. And it's also very important, of course, that you keep on learning forever. That's something that you're going to have to realize, and you've probably realized this by now. The learning never stops, it just keeps on going. So, thank you very much for watching. If you guys have a question, feel free to send it in, and I might or might not answer it in a coming episode of Your Questions Answered. Thank you very much. I hope you guys get a ton of cheese on your next hunts, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, amazing hackers.